So this week, due to some circumstances outside of my ability to control, I won't be able to get a full episode out to you from the Summit series, but I thought I would get out this sort of mini episode. It comes from the week that Christina and I took up in Carrabassett Valley this winter. And as you will see, that week we were struck with some pretty bad luck, I would say. Things did not go according to plan. So we'll start with the first day of that trip, where our plan was to go to the Crockers. And I will let that story play. Well, we're starting off with a hurdle. My plan was to head up the Caribou Pond Road, and we were going to do South Crocker, Crocker, and Redington today. It was supposed to be the only 3-summit day of the trip. And we were gonna just drive up Caribou Pond Road, park at the Appalachian Trail trailhead, which I did last winter. They had plowed it all out. But we just turned into Caribou Pond Road, and it is definitely not plowed this winter. It is a snowmobile trail. And just pulled out the maps. That's gonna add about 4.5 miles each direction, so 9 miles total onto what was already a 9 or 10 mile day. And while we were prepped for the 9 or 10 mile day, we're not prepped for an 18, 19 mile day today. So we're on to plan B, but I am still trying to come to terms with the fact that at some point this winter, I am gonna have to do this monster day that I was not planning on. But I guess today we are gonna do a 180, head back down to Kingfield, and I think we're gonna hike Mount Abraham today. Should be a bit shorter, depending on how far they've plowed the road, I suppose. Like 7 or 8 miles, and a good bit of climbing, but not as big as today was gonna be. So, you know, just gotta roll with things. At least it's a really nice day. Should be kind of low 30s. It's lightly snowing right now, but I think that's supposed to stop. Should be a beautiful day in the mountains, but let's figure out plan B, and let's hope that they've plowed that road. All right, so as you can see, we did not make it up the Crockers or Redington Mountain that day. However, we did go with plan B, which was Mount Abraham. And that is gonna be the next episode. So stay tuned for that one. But just 2 days later, we ran into some more issues in Carrabassett Valley. So the day after we filmed our Mount Abraham video, it was 50 degrees, on and off rain, 50-mile-per-hour winds. We opted to not even attempt to summit that day. It was not wintry. It was pretty horrible weather. Just not meant to be. But the following day, our plan was to skin up Sugarloaf Mountain, pop over to Spalding, get Spalding Summit, back to Sugarloaf, and ski down Sugarloaf. So it was supposed to be a fun day. Weather didn't look great. It was sort of rainy down lower, but it was supposed to be snowing up higher on the mountain. And it was our last day in Carrabassett Valley. So we really wanted to make it work. So here's what happened that day. Uphill travel today is not permitted due to conditions. Stupid winter. Yesterday it was 50 degrees and 50+ mile-per-hour winds. And maybe we should have attempted to do it yesterday, but that just didn't seem like ideal time to get out. And they may have canceled the uphill travel then yesterday as well, I'm not sure, but feels like we're striking out over and over and over again. I guess that's what we get for like putting dates on the calendar to do something that's weather dependent. But you would think middle of February would be cold, snowy, consistent winter. I feel like this is the third pretty big hiccup in like 3 days of working on this project up here. I'm not gonna break the rules today. I wanna make a good name for uphill skinners. So Sugarloaf and Spalding are off the table for today. The Bigelows are right across the valley, but that's too big of a thing for us to start now that it's become 9:30 with all of this rigmarole. We also still can't get up the Caribou Road and do the Crockers. We were just playing with the idea of going over to Saddleback and at least trying to do that, and checked their site, and no uphill travel allowed at Saddleback today either. So I think that really answers it for us. It's just not our day. So back to Portland then. Yikes. You can see the emotion in my face as I was just dealing with coming to terms with the fact that we weren't going to get all the summits that trip, or potentially even this year. I had originally thought that this whole project could be done in a year. As I'll just let you know now, that did not happen. And one of the big problems, I think, is that we, being working people with schedules, had to kind of schedule in all of these mountain summits. So I had dates on the calendar for each summit, and there wasn't a lot of flexibility there. I thought that was going to be okay. You know, it is Maine. We usually have okay winters, at least up in the mountains, but man, January came and went without any real snow. So we had to postpone the whole project, push it all into February and March. And that left us with just kind of one day for each summit attempt. And when we failed at that, we failed. We weren't able to get all the summits in. So I'm still sort of struggling with it, I guess. But on the other hand, we have a lot of awesome stories and summits coming up still. So this does not represent how the whole series went, but it does show that not everything always goes to plan. There's more good stuff to come, so please stay tuned for next episode coming next Thursday. And until then, big thank you to our sponsors, and thank you to you for watching and following this series. See you next week.